The Retro Buzz starts right after this.
Hey guys, it is Friday, so it's time for the Retro Buzz, and we've got a pretty good show for you today. You guys all remember we had Grandmaster Daniel Pacina on the show a few weeks ago, I do believe. Well, I just found out we've been graced with this man, Mr. Scorpion. Why is your hand on fire?
Thanks. Well, because I'm so hot and excited to be on the Retro Buzz.
Well, Mr. Scorpion, I do apologize. I do have the lower third as Glenn Planamento. Please be gentle with him.
He's a good friend of mine. He's sleeping right now. I put him in a sleeper hold a few minutes ago. He's doing okay. He's just in the corner.
Well, as long as he's well taken care of, I do appreciate you making sure that he's okay.
I'm just here to help make sure Glenn gets a little R&R, a little sleep.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
I heard that Angel was on today, and I wanted to come on and tell him I really appreciate his work on my Mortal Kombat cab.
Yeah,
very nice stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him, but we also have this man, Mr. Douglas Smith, COOLTOY. I thought you were gonna come incognito.
I don't even know how you follow that. I mean, just like,
yeah, how do you?
And is the appropriate vernacular Mr. Scorpion, or is it Sir Scorpion, or like what is the appropriate title? How should we refer to you?
I'm kind of like Madonna. You could just say Scorpion.
Okay, all right. That's all I wanted to get clear, because I don't want to get a spear to the chest. So.
Oh.
Get over here.
Nah, I'm good. That's gonna be a hard no for me.
And we also have, as stated earlier, we have the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, this ability upgrades, Mr. Angel Otero Jr. Welcome. Look at him all. Look at all.
Are you flushing the toilet? What is that?
That was the applause. The applause.
The applause.
There you go. All right.
Angel's sitting there all suave. Look at he's got his studio set up there. He's got a TV in the background. Yeah. Look at this guy.
Slick.
Yeah, I had to add you guys back there. Let me see. You see it? There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That. Slick Rick, man.
Looking good, my man.
Setup. Yeah.
Hey,
I like it.
I follow Tech Buzz. I'm learning from the best.
Check that out though. He doesn't have Scorpion on there. Sorry, man.
That's okay. We'll take care of that later, Angel.
I don't know if that's a threat or how to perceive that comment.
So for those that don't know, Angel makes a lot of different marquees and different things for the arcade community. Partners with Bobby Vu, who we had on last week, and To Die For. And Angel, I was talking to you about this, and you were like, I want to get personal. When I first met you, I kind of was talking to you on a personal level, and I heard a lot of rumblings around the community that you were in a car accident, and that's why this ability was born. And I know that that's not the truth, and I know you wanted to kind of dive into that and explain how this all got started. How did this ability happen?
Well, yeah, I wasn't in a car accident. I was actually born breech when I was a baby. I was coming out foot first. Like my mom literally wound up at the hospital, and one of my feet was actually sticking out, which is weird. But I was coming out breech first, and unfortunately, the hospital that she was at, there was nothing but interns and residents, like people that just didn't know what they were doing at the time. They were talking about, we're looking at 1972, so that just shows my age right there. But they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what they were doing, and there was a little mishap and a little wrong twist there, and apparently they just affected my spine, and from then on, I just was paralyzed for the rest of my life.
But it hasn't stopped you. So I don't want to
No.
turn this into a, you know,
No,
feel sorry.
no.
And I know you don't want that either. And I know we
No.
all respect what you can do. And that's the biggest thing into this, right? That's the thing that we all can look at and go, dang, man, he's taken a negative,
Yeah, I
flipped
mean,
it around.
I didn't realize I was disabled until like 7 years ago, to be honest. Things in my body started changing, and the way my body was,
That's
as
called
I got older.
that's called puberty.
They call that puberty.
That's called puberty.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I got older, and just my body just started giving me the warning signs, like you got to stop doing this, you got to stop doing that. And I slowed down, but I haven't stopped. I mean, I've done so many things. I think I was a handful for my mother since day one. So it's like, even to this day, she will literally tell you that I just keep her worried every day because I'm just nonstop at whatever I do. I'm constantly doing this. I'm constantly doing that. And her biggest fear is, just me not relaxing and not resting. But it's who I am. That's who I do. That's what I do.
That's right. And there's never anything you can't not do if you apply yourself to it. I mean, look at me. I was just sitting there. I was kind of out of luck. Video game came along, and I got a new lease on life. This guy named Zohar kept hounding these people to put me into this game called Mortal Kombat. So Zohar, if you're watching, I really want to thank you. And you don't have to keep sending the residual checks. I'm good now. I got a pretty good contract.
Oh, they give you a big check now?
Well, they do, but Zohar pretty much was carrying me for years. I mean, he was just throwing money my way for a long time. But now, Midway takes care of me pretty good, Zohar. So I want to thank you and solid to you, my friend.
So fast forward, Angel, to the present day. You decided to do this ability upgrades, and
right.
which is a modding company, right? You're able to do different modifications. Right. So why don't you elaborate on that?
When I first heard Arcade1Up was coming out with arcade games, I hesitated at first because their first wave was just some of the games I didn't like. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Street Fighter, but eventually I bought one down the line in November, like the late November of it, and I just started watching videos on it. ETA Prime was obviously the main guy everybody hit when they started seeing different things you could do to it, and I just started changing minds and making it totally different, making it personal. And I was just in dire need of a light up marquee, so I purchased one. Wasn't happy with the result of it. I mean, I just wanted to do something different, and it took me a while. I hesitated because I was scared, and I literally asked the members if they were okay with me trying to, do my own marquee, and they were like, sure. I mean, let's give it a shot. It doesn't hurt to. Actually, one of the comments I heard was, hey, another third person to do a marquee is not as bad as having more variety. So I gave it a shot. It took me a while. My first batch was the acrylic, the big giant acrylic ones, and it took a long time to sell. They sat in my garage for at least almost 2 months, and then eventually they started selling, and I switched over to something different, a little more easier to ship, a little more easy to plug and play, and it just blew up. I mean, the name Disability actually came from I don't know if I could really say, but it came from the movie with Kevin Hart, where he helps the disabled guy. And what's the name of the title? I don't remember more or less. But there was a line in the movie where the guy says, "It's not. I don't see a disability. I see disability," and that just stuck. I just ran with that, and I took it, and I kind of liked the way it sounded, and just took it from there. And missed them, created my logo. P Dubs put me on YouTube, and just everything just went uphill from there. I don't even want to say downhill. Everything went uphill because everything just kept going up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is overwhelming right now.
That also happens after puberty.
I like the face now.
I was about to say, speaking of changes to the body, it looks like you're sporting a new facial structure there, Scorpion.
Well, it's been hot out today, and I've been trying to tan a little bit. It may stand out a little bit too long, but I look okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, it suits you. I mean,
I'm trying to get a little tan. The ladies like the tan, they say.
It brings out your cheekbones, quite literally.
Excellent. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So Angel, what has been I assume there's probably some growing pains associated with, starting your own business and then watching it grow in a short amount of time. Has there been some lessons learned?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of lessons. I mean, I've learned I've learned to be more patient. Like that's my biggest thing. I don't want to just sell quantity. I want to sell quality. So I have to learn to take my time with every little product that I send out because it financially it becomes a lesson where you ship too fast and you realize you forgot something stupid like a screw or a wire is not tested right and it just costs more time and more money just to replace that because I replace almost everything I make a mistake on and it's just it was just a matter of getting the right product to fit to make sure that if I physically can do the product easy, then you can do it easy. So it's just a matter of product testing and time and just making sure everything was perfect. And there's still a lot of room for improvement. I mean, I still see a lot of things I want to improve in my product, but it's going to require getting a CNC machine, which I'm now in the process of starting up. I want to get my own CNC machine.
Nice.
Now, Angel, Nikki in the chat room wants to know if you're ever going to have a website. I know you like doing things via email and talking person to person, but a website wouldn't be a bad idea. Have you really thought about doing that?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I've actually started a Wix website and it's still sitting there. It takes a lot of time to just sit there and set it up and prep it and get, you know, I'm really like so involved in just making sure my product gets to my customers that I even forget sometimes to take pictures of certain marquees that just stand out for me and I forget to take the picture so that I can put on the website and stuff like that. Plus I enjoy more speaking to the customers. I like when I'm able to take their advice and take their suggestions of what they want to do and how they want to do it, you know, and between me and Mr. because Mr.'s my graphic designer, I could actually just tell him almost anything and he'll design it and he'll get the vision from the customer and we get everything done perfectly. But yeah, I mean, a website is there. It's just a matter of actually sitting down and putting all my contents in it.
Absolutely. And Zohar mentions in here that you're an inspiration to everyone, and I would agree with that. I don't know anyone
I'm not
else.
that big a deal. We have a guest here. I mean, it really should be about him. Zohar, I appreciate it, but really, this is about Angel today. We can talk later, buddy.
Yeah, Zohar is a great guy. I mean, I really like him a lot. Me and him have chatted for a while, and he was very humble. He was very hesitant to take my marquee, and I was like, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get you one." And he was just happy and ecstatic with it, which makes me happy. When my customers get my product and they're happy of the quality of the way it looks, of the way it was easy for them to install it, of the way everything was packaged up, I think I get more joy out of that than anything else. I mean, that's even I'll give you a real short story. One of my customers recently was from Hawaii. So to know that my product's going all the way to Hawaii, that's amazing for me. So it's humbling for me.
And I know when you get into doing these things, the marquees. I mean, the third party market out there is enormous, right? Everybody's creating marquees and whatnot. But you know, I know Doug, you've used other marquees. I've used other marquees. I mean, for the value Angel brings, exceptional quality for what it is.
Oh, absolutely. And it goes back down to what Angel was saying about taking the time, making sure everything's right, not rushing things just to, hurry up and take an order and process an order. He wants to make sure everything is as it should be. Everything is exactly as the customer ordered, and make sure he doesn't make silly mistakes and things like that, because those will come back to haunt you, and you'll start to develop a shoddy reputation if you start slipping on those quality control issues. So it's great that here Angel, I mean, he's literally putting his hard work and time. This is not 20 people in a warehouse putting this together. This is Angel, one-man operation, doing everything by hand and producing excellent results.
And what and Angel, real quick, what stood out to me was when I first met you, you obviously you were sending out the YouTubers a marquee to review. You didn't ask me to do a video review. I did it. But then I was complaining in the video about another, and I'm not going to mention the company, about the stretch graphics. This guy This guy gets on the phone, calls me up, and he says, hey, I want you to make a list of all the marquees that have the stretched logos, and I want to replace each and every one of them. I'm like, no, dude, you don't need to do that. I appreciate that. But that's the length he wanted to go to make me, and he's not paying me to say this. I'm being completely straightforward and honest with it. Like, that's the integrity that this guy has. Like, he's not happy with his marquees. I'm going to fix it. Send it to me.
I've had customers from those other people that you didn't want to mention that come to me and say, the graphic, quality is not like this, and this is stretched out and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem fixing other people's problems, because we're putting hard money into these machines. I mean, a lot of people call them toys. A lot of people call them little, hobbies, but they're something we've wanted for years in our home at a reasonable price. I mean, but even though if you're gonna pay $300, $400 for a machine, you want to look at it, you want to enjoy it, you want to even if it's just sitting there in demo mode, you want to look at it and enjoy every part of it, whether it's the marquees, the buttons, the control panel, every little part of it, you want to just enjoy it. And I rather know that if my product is on your machine, then you're enjoying that too.
Doug, I think Scorpion needs to buy a Mortal Kombat marquee from Angel. Scorpion, do you think you can pull that off?
I did. I have one. It's he does a great job. Very, very happy with it. He does really good work.
I was going to say, if you're going to be on the show, you better at least have gotten an Angel marquee.
The product.
Yeah, really. You like hijacked Glenn's seat.
Unlike you two, I only have stuff.
Listen.
Let's just put it out there, okay?
Listen, Scorpion, if you're going to take Glenn's seat, you have some pretty big shoes to fill. So you better make sure you get your.
Actually, I looked. He's only got like a size 5. It's not that big. pretty sad, actually.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn is taking Glenn.
It's funny when I came into the room, he kind of just fainted. So, not too much on that guy.
Good,
low
Doug.
blood sugar. Yeah. I was just going to ask, so Angel, without, revealing the secret sauce, you want to tell everybody a little bit about your process as far as, creating the product once you get an order, what it looks like for you?
Actually, I got a couple of them next to me. I'm not going to show them all off, but I'll show you one of my favorites that everybody likes, which is the Space Invaders.
Yes, that's the one I have.
Glenn has shown this one a lot, and this one, I mean, it takes me about 15 minutes to do just the trimming around for each one. And the process to build, I'd say it take me about a week just to have what I call prep mode. And prep mode is having all the frames cut up, having everything, like all my care packages ready, having my remotes ready, having my harness ready, because that's another product that I created at home, which is a homemade harness, which is like a splitter at one end and a connector on the other end, where you could literally turn on the marquee with your stock switch if it's not modified, because you still got access to the stock switch. So I literally solder these almost every night when I run down. At least it's like 5 of them. So I'll do another 50 that night, or I'll do another 25, but it'll take me almost a whole week just to get all my stuff prepped, so that when I'm in the garage, which I don't want to spend too much time because of the Florida heat, I'm just in there building, and sending out at least about 30 units a day, if possible, for the week. So I try to get everything done as much as I can. But like you said, Doug, it's a one-man show, and I'm doing everything, literally by myself for now, because I will have family members coming down to help me out, which will be great. And hopefully I'll speed up a little bit of the process.
Very impressive. A lot of hard work.
Yeah,
I gotta know, is the post office know you by name? They got her by now, right?
They got a picture up.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually they do. They if I don't show up for a while because I'm having them pick it up, they're like, "Oh, where you been and what happened to you? I thought something was wrong." I'm like, "No, my wife doesn't want me in the post office every day, so I just have to have her pick it up, which makes it easier."
Well, speaking of the post office, let's talk about that for real quick. Angel sent me a care package up, and he says, "Listen, I'm gonna send it to you in a box." He said, "I want you to let me know if anything happens to it." I get this box, right, and it looked like a dog ate a hole through the center of it. So I call up Angel. So I call up
And that's not
Angel,
the
and I was like, hey, I took pictures of it, sent it to him. I'm like, you told me to
Yeah.
let you know. Nothing was missing. But he's like, I'm going down to the post office. I'm going to let him have it because he said, that's not the way I sent it. It was all taped up and weird. And he's like, I don't know what the heck they did. But that's...
They do it on purpose. The post office does these things all the time, I swear.
I agree with you. But I guess what I was getting at was that's how much pride he takes in shipping it. And again, these are things that, I haven't discussed with him.
Around that time, I was taking it to the post office myself. I would literally fill up my car with all these packages and then, take them in by myself. And if I'm doing all that hard work, I don't want it to get to my customer all beat up and mashed up or something like that, because it just makes me look bad. And I don't really
you
wanna
made
do that.
happy there. He says he got his marquee sooner than expected. Thanks, Angel.
No
And
problem.
that guy's hard to please. That guy's hard to please. So for him to say that, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, that's another thing.
He's tough.
That's one thing I want to say here. The tri-state area of New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, if your packages get there really late, I'm really sorry, because those have been the biggest states that I've had issues with.
Wait,
with the post office.
You mean you're apologizing because mail's slow because of a pandemic? Come on.
Hey, I just want to let.
That sounds like something Kathleen Kennedy would say.
Well, wait. Scorpion, you have a problem with Kathleen Kennedy too?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally in agreement with Glenn on that one. She's totally destroying everything. We got to get rid of that one.
Well, we get a surprise later on in the show for you then, Scorpion, because not me. Angel has a surprise for you later on in the show. So
really, okay,
so
I like surprises.
So Angel, one of the things he wanted to do is, obviously, before we get into talking some news, he was like, hey, let's talk about some of the cool arcade stuff out there. Angel, what are some of the things? How can people reach you if they want a marquee? You can do custom marquees. You can do the exact marquees that were originally designed for these cabinets. How do people order? How do they get in touch with you? What's a way that they can do that?
Literally, they can message me on Messenger, or they can hit me up through any type of post or anything. Because I usually, any post that I'm tagged in, I usually answer quickly, like literally within 5 minutes to 10 minutes.
I heard they're supposed to call P-Dub's cell phone. I thought that they're supposed to call, and he's taking the orders and passing them on to you. He volunteered.
Imagine that. But I literally
get a free sticker from him.
You'll get a P-Dub sticker that we still haven't gotten.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten those stickers. But and the funny thing, I told him if he gave me those stickers, I would put them in my care package and give them away as part of the thing. But nothing. I guess he doesn't want to get rid of them that bad. But the number that I've given out, that's literally my personal number. I've gotten phone calls around 11, 10 o'clock at night, because I know the time difference is different in certain areas. So I respect that. But yeah, I've given out my personal number, and I don't have a problem with people talking to me, on the phone and asking me exactly what they want to do.
So now P-Dub says for Angel, he would do it.
He'd play secretary.
See,
he'd do what? Send me the stickers. I like those.
You're not gonna see any stickers. See, he went around town, and he stuck them on every post office and telephone pole and mailbox.
Police car, put it on.
And then
he probably slapped
the HOA came after him, hit him with a citation, and then he started handing them out for people to put on their masks. That's really what happened.
That's what we did. But yeah, he's back there on my screen if you could see it. I know it's the old logo, but I got everybody out there. I just wanted.
Yeah, I did notice P-Dub is on the top right. I'm pretty sure Glenn likes to be on the top right. P-Dub should have been over.
Whoa! Wait a second.
Where the COOLTOY is.
Scorpion.
COOLTOY on the bottom left.
Glenn likes to. Right. No, you're wrong. Glenn likes to be the dead center. Glenn has to be not the top left, the dead center.
I do stand corrected. I think actually you're right. Hey, Glenn, is that? Yeah, he's still out. I don't know. He's still asleep.
Glenn likes to be front and center, and it has to be bigger than everybody else's logo.
Yes. Yep, that is true.
I got my notes. I know what his demands were to be on the show. Trust me.
Yeah, his show writer.
So, Angel, you might be hearing from his lawyer on the way that your TV's done in the back, because it's not done to the standard we require to be on the RetroBuzz.
Right. And the funny thing, I showed this to Bobby, and Bobby was like, "Well, why isn't mine bigger than yours?" And I'm like, "Wait, Bobby, wait."
So,
That's a weird question if they're out the same guy.
so I want to put this out there right now.
Phrasing.
The Rexers in the house tonight. Tonight at 8:00 Eastern time. We're gonna make sure we're off, and we're gonna send people over there. He's got a show tonight, so make sure you guys set your calendars. After the show, we're gonna make sure our post show is done by 7:30. You all want to tune into the Rexer show. He's got some guests on tonight. Go support the show. Really nice guy. I've watched
Love the Rexer show.
I've watched shows that Glenn and Dubs have both been on with them, and he has a really unique format, and it's a lot of fun. So I'd encourage you guys to go over there and check that out later on this evening. But I want to kind of dive into something. Doug, you brought up an interesting announcement in pre-show before anybody else could hear it about something Sega dropped. Why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, they announced the Sega. Let's see what the official title is. Like the mini Astro City cabinet. I think that's the official title, but it's supposed to have 36 arcade games built into it. Small Astro City cabinet form factor. So if you're not familiar with it, they're called candy cabs for a lot of people on this side of the world. Call them candy cabs. But Astro City cabinet, it's a classic Sega design. It's going to be very similar to what we got a couple years ago with the Neo Geo Mini. It's going to have HDMI out, so if you don't want to play on a little arcade, yeah, there you go. It's got a USB controller support, so you can plug in USB controllers. Like, say you've got a fight pad or a game pad, or you just got a little USB Sega controller, say something like for your Sega Genesis Mini, you already got something like that, good to go. It's promising, actual arcade buttons and joysticks as far as micro switches, not those non-clicky style ones that we got on the Neo Geo. The marquee actually lights up. They've revealed a couple of titles for it so far, and they're going to release some more titles as it comes out later in the year because it's scheduled to be a holiday item for 2020. Right now, it's not expected to come over to the States, but you can order it on Amazon Japan and have it shipped to you. So that's something I highly recommend. And $120 is the retail price. So I'm excited for it. You guys know I'm a Sega fanboy, so I've already got mine pre-ordered.
How do you feel about
The only problem I have with this is I see Virtual Fighter, but I don't see a Mortal Kombat.
That's what I was going to ask.
Game is Virtual Fighter.
How do you feel about the game list, both you and Scorpion and Angel? How do you guys feel about the game list that they have there? Some of them are compelling, some of them.
Well, I think Zohar should start writing Sega right now, first of all. Because if anyone's going to get us put on there, it's going to be Zohar. So Zohar, I suggest you start contacting Sega right now and let them know, no Mortal Kombat, no sale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in their defense, these are all Sega published titles, so it makes sense that these are the titles that are going to be fitted on the cabinet. I'm pretty excited about it. One thing I think is interesting to note is that all those titles so far, none of them have been 6-button layouts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
like it's
if
kind
you
of
look at that arcade cabinet, and there's only one game I can think of that would, stand out to me that would make sense to go on this little cabinet, and that would be Golden Axe the Duel, a nice arcade fighter that came over in Japan but didn't come over to the States. It came over to us on the Sega Saturn, but we never actually got the arcade version of it over here in America. So I think that's likely going to be a title that gets announced later on down the road and would make sense since there's 6 buttons on this cabinet that we actually get an actual fighter, because Virtual Fighter only uses 3 buttons.
So you pre-ordered this. Are you going to
Absolutely.
Do you think that you're going to run into the problem that you ran into with the TurboGrafx 16 here in the States, or do you actually have like a ship date? Angel's laughing because we both kind of crumbled and we were like, we're buying it.
Yeah. No, I have good faith in this one because, like the TurboGrafx Mini, people were able to order it from Japan, Amazon Japan, and got theirs before the American shipment. So assuming there's no, production delays or issues because of, the pandemic, and this actually ships on time, I fully expect to have it right on time for that holiday season, Christmas time, before the end of 2020.
I haven't canceled my Japan account yet, so never know when we're gonna need to order from there.
But I think it's a good move. Angel, did you pre-order it?
Not yet. I did. This is the first time hearing of it. But is this a makeup? Is this a makeup from Sega for releasing that other
with the Game Gear Minis?
You know it. You know it.
I'd have to agree with that.
The Game Gear 4 game debacle? Yeah, I think so.
This is a good makeup, right?
But I
Even
heard,
as a Sega fanboy, there's nothing positive I can say about that.
but I
mini
heard Glenn
micro
ordered
Sega
them.
game.
I heard Glenn ordered like 4 of each.
4 of each of the 4 colors.
Of the 4, that's what I'm saying. I heard he ordered them.
16 total.
I
But he's
think
an idiot. That's a stupid thing to do. I mean, I'll be honest, they're neat. But if anything, all the games should have been available on all the colors. Just pick your color. Put 4 games on one and charge, was it $50? Was it $50?
$50. Yeah. $50.
Yeah, no. Nope.
Great.
Nope.
No, I agree with Scorpion on that one. I think that's going to be that's a no for me. That's a non-starter. I think
It's almost a PlayStation style of debacle.
So let me
PlayStation
ask you
Classic.
guys though. Let me ask you. The Neo Geo Mini came out over in Japan. There was a different color. Then it came out in the United States, and the United States version was a different color. Do you foresee that happening, Doug, over here? That we're gonna maybe 6 months from now get a Japanese version. The reason I'm asking that is because collectors, they may want to pick this up because the U.S. might have different version games, right?
Yeah, this one, for whatever reason, I just have the sneaking suspicion that's not going to be the case. I think this is likely only going to be a Japan-only release and not officially going to come over to the States just because of the specific design of that Astro City cabinet. That was a little more of that style of market. You know, here in the West, so to speak, we've always got our individual arcade cabinets. Everything was uniquely designed. In Japan, a lot of things were always retrofitted into that Astro City style cabinet, and all of them lined up kind of looked uniform. Whereas, you know, here in the States, we got individual unique shape cabinets and things like that. So I think they're really purposely catering towards that Japanese market. I think we're just going to have to import it if you're a Sega arcade purist and fanboy, and just take what you can get.
You're gonna make me order this thing tonight.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing.
Hey,
Do it.
Scorpion, did you pre-order it?
You know that I'm also with Glenn. I never pre-ordered anything. However, I do agree with COOLTOY. I'm not sure this one's going to come to the States, so I might not have a choice to do it. Although, I'm still hoping Zohar is going to, convince them to put a good game on there.
Well, the experts have spoken. They have said that you probably should buy it, so I would take them up on that. I'm probably, we're probably gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to bite the bullet, pre-order it,
Absolutely.
and make sure that we get ours. Because I don't.
The worst comes to worst, we just put Mortal Kombat in it. That's it.
Yeah, somebody will hack it. Somebody will make it
Yeah.
make it hackable.
Yeah. Well, that
So
is one.
it's a nice looking cabinet. I mean, we never, like COOLTOY said, it was never over here. When I was sitting in the arcade with my buddy, Fixer Felix Jr., we were hanging out talking one day, and we liked that cabinet. We would have loved to have been inside that cabinet, but it never came over here. So we had to stick with our normal wood cabinets that we got over here. But even Fixer Felix agrees that it's a nice looking cabinet.
I just love that you're best buds with Fix It Felix Jr. That's a perfect pairing.
When you got a guy with a hammer that can fix anything, you want to be his friend.
There you go.
That's true. It's like having
And his
a friend
girlfriend, his fiance is pretty hot as well.
Oh,
So.
Glenn,
And she's a great shot. She's a great shot, man. She's taking people out. Further than my star goes out to nail people in the chest when I say get over here. She's taking them out much further. So she's pretty hot.
Scott J says Glenn has an Amazon Outworld account. I would agree with that.
Yep.
So real quick, sounds like you guys are saying we definitely should pre-order it. Guys in the chat room, let us know if you're going to pre-order it. If you think we should pre-order it, put it in the chat room. Let's kind of go into iiRcade. You guys know that I kind of think this is an overpriced barcade, but I love Jong. I think he's a really nice guy. Always willing to help him with whatever he needs. I want to see him succeed because it's only going to make the industry that much better. Today they announced up to 8-player multiplayer on the internet with a game that looked like, I forget the name of it, but it was like Bomberman on steroids. Bomb Squad, is that what it was? I knew it, Bomb something.
It's the official title. Yeah.
What? Let's start with Scorpion on this one. What do you think about this now? I mean, Atgames obviously brought the first internet connected arcade. Arcade1Up followed it up with NBA Jam being connected. iiRcade listened to the community. The community said, "Hey, let's do it." What do you think?
Well, I think with today's gamers, like, you know, I'm one of the old guys. I'm from the 80s, right? So our games weren't connected. So I didn't really know what I was missing. But I've been using the Atgames Legends and the NBA Jam, and that connected ability is a nice feature to have. So I think it would have been a miss if they didn't add that to the iiRcade. I think it's a really cool addition, and I'm glad they did add it. Again, I know how you feel about this machine, and I'm also on the bench of I didn't think it was that aesthetically pleasing to look at. But if you get on that Kickstarter at the price point of $299, I think you got a very, very good bargain there. And this new feature is a welcome addition.
Absolutely. And I was getting yelled at in the chat room. I apologize from Mr. Zohar. Since, Doug, you always read the super chats here, I put it up on the screen for you before you give your commentary on that. You want to take care of Mr. Zohar there for us.
Yeah, so we got $5 from Zohar. It says, we should shout out Arcade1Up for having creative opportunities like this exist, like fan pages, YouTube channels, and cool people like Angel.
Yeah, thank you.
Which is absolutely true. You know, without their product and what they brought to the market from the get-go, we wouldn't have, you know, awesome opportunities for people like Angel to create their own business and, you know, serve their customers.
Yeah, and Scott J says, please get Jong back on the show now that he has so much more to talk about. You know, we could definitely do that, get him back on. We do want to kind of hear what he has to say, but you know, Doug, what's your take on this? Like, I still think when this releases, I can't see paying $500 for it. I know Bobby Vu last week, he said it's a steal at $299, which, you know, I get it. I didn't jump in on the Kickstarter with that. It was gone before I even had an opportunity, and I just can't pull the trigger at $499. I just can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a matter of perspective because, you know, somebody that pays $299 for it versus somebody that pays $499 or $599, they're going to have different expectations, different, you know, perspective on it. Like $299 is an absolute steal. Obviously, like I coincide with what Bobby said. You can't pass it up for $299 because a lot of these do-it-yourself bar top kits costs like $250, and you still got to buy a bunch of extra parts and pieces, materials, put it together, do all that kind of stuff. This one, you know, you put it together 10 minutes, I think is what John referred to, and $299 online gaming capability. I mean, that's a great offering. Now, $599, it becomes a much more difficult sell because for $500, you know, $600, I'm expecting much more as far as my experience or the quality of the components and things like that. But for all these people that got in early on the Kickstarter, I think they're getting a hell of a deal, still of a deal, actually. I love where we're going with the online multiplayer and the gameplay. I think that's something that helps grow the community figuratively and literally. It's something I've always enjoyed. For the you know, current console generation we have, I still play current consoles because of the online multiplayer, but it's something I always wish we would have had back in the day for these retro video games. So to see these companies kind of identifying that need and addressing it is super cool to see, and I hope it's a continuation we see from everybody cohesively.
So I don't know how to say this, his name, Lock Cheney 1. He says, how about having the cab in your hands first? I guess he's referring to any kind of criticism. And listen, man, I get it. I do. But when you're looking at it, and I know it's powerful, I get it. But when you've got other things out in the market, you just got to you got to call it the way you see it right now. And you know what? He may surprise me. He might put it out there and, you know, Doug, you might get it and be like, wow, this is worth more than $300, you know, and that's what people are going to have to wait for. But I guess looking at it right now, Angel, did you get in on the pre-order? Is this something that you're looking at? Do you think that price tag at $599 is too much for this when it retails?
Yeah, I think it's way too much for me. I mean, I've never jumped on anything $599, even on the Arcade1Up stuff, because I mean, to be honest, a bar top if you're gonna get a half of a machine, you might as well half the price, not a full price machine at a full price for a half a machine there. I mean, even just we don't know exactly what it can do. I mean, I think they're keeping a lot from us. I know they gotta know the potential of this machine. They gotta know what it's capable of doing. They're just giving us little teases and little tastes just to see if we keep jumping on it, on and on and on. I mean, let's really just tell us exactly what we're getting. If we're gonna dish out all this money for it, tell us exactly what we're gonna pay for instead of just making us think about what it can or it cannot do. You know, if we do dish out all this money and it doesn't meet up to the potential of what we want, then how are we gonna feel as a customer? Are we gonna feel like we just threw our money away, or are we gonna be happy with the machine? It's just a big risk. It's like buying music. You don't know how good the rest of the track is until you buy the CD completely or you hear the whole entire album. You know,
unless it's the Tron Legacy soundtrack, in which case, buy it. And Mortal Kombat, by the way. Mortal Kombat soundtrack was very good.
Yes.
Even Annihilation, it was both good.
Yeah.
For 500 something, it's just a big risk. It's a big chance, and I'd rather take the chance at something lower priced than something at too expensive right now.
And does it concern you guys, any one of you guys, you just feel free to jump in, does it concern you that the games on this, some of them that he's showing are independent games? I mean, I know a lot of them are great. Don't get me wrong. They're not like they're bad. But at that price tag, I mean, are you looking more for name brand games from reputable companies, or are you okay with spending that kind of money for a lot of games that are, you know, independents?
I'm okay with it. I mean, it's always going to be down to the individual gamer. Everyone's going to have different discerning taste, what kind of games they like. Some people, they only want to play first party titles. Some people are more open. They want to play, you know, these independent, these third party, these smaller, you know, game developing style companies games. It just really goes into like how much you paid for it and what your expectations are. Like, again, $299. If you give me nothing but indie games, I'm fine with that. If I paid $599 and I didn't get any first party titles, yeah, I'd be a little more concerned. Not to say that, you know, some of these titles still can't be amazing, but it's a weird little balancing act that they have to do, because they got to kind of please everybody simultaneously. They got to offer something new, and they also got to be able to offer something different, because, you know, let's be honest, there's a lot of these licenses are probably already locked down by other companies, so they're not going to be able to get all these first party titles. But even if they did, that really wouldn't help them stick out in the marketplace, so to speak. They would just be another arcade with the same exact titles. So I understand why they're kind of diverting their eyes and their attention toward multiple titles. And like that, the Bomb Squad game, I'd never heard of it, and I watched the live stream today and I was like, wow, the game looks like fun, you know.
Yeah, it looks like Smash Brothers. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, I would really have a blast playing that game, no pun intended. So I think it definitely has, you know, opportunities to surprise people with these independent games and these smaller games that people maybe are not aware of.
And we'll get Scorpion's opinion, but Angel, do you want to answer that question there that's up on the screen?
Yeah, I will. If I could get it in my hands, I would definitely do a light up marquee. I think it would. I've thought about it even when I first saw it. A light up marquee with speakers in it. I've thought about actually doing that to some of the cabinets I got now. I mean, it's just a matter of trying to control the rattling in it. But I think if we already have a system that has a marquee with speakers in it, and I could change it up and put lights in it and make it look nicer, let's do it. I think that's my biggest thing about the machine. I want to know what more can I do to it, not what it can do now, but I want to know what more can I do with it. I get more joy of upgrading my product than actually playing it. So if I can have more joy of upgrading it and adding this and putting that and getting more out of the machine than just sitting there playing a game for 5 or 10 minutes and just not touching it again, then I know I got my money's worth when I can modify it.
Scorpion, did you get in on the pre-order, or are you kind of like me, kind of hanging back?
I did not get into the pre-order. You know, it's kind of hard getting my hands on my wallet anyway. It seems to catch fire every time I grab my wallet. But with that being said, it's kind of like deja vu. I mean, a lot about what the iiRcade is doing and launching, and what Angel was saying a minute ago about knowing what games are coming on it, is very Atgames-ish. When Atgames first talked about their machine, you know, the game list wasn't really provided. A lot of the hardware specs weren't provided. And it's actually a really good system, the Atgames machine. I think that's also the problem now. So iiRcade is coming in with like a business model very similar to what Atgames has. You're getting some games put in, add games, bring your own games, you know, renting time. It's just like it's kind of already been done. So it's just how good is that hardware? How much better is it going to be to justify that price? Because right now the Atgames Legends Ultimate, I'm not going to lie, it's a very good system. The components are very, very good. They're constantly adding new features. They have so many features on there. I had to basically knock out freaking Sub-Zero a minute ago just to get some time to see what other things were added. You have light up marquees. You now have the Pixelcade integrated in with the machine. You can do coin ops. You can add your own games. It just has so many things in it. So I just think right now they got a bit of an uphill battle trying to get into the market. Not saying they can't, because again, we don't really know fully what the hardware is capable of. Bobby Vu is like all over that, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying right now there's something in the market that kind of already has the things they're touting as what they have, and it's already been in the market for about a year by the time it comes to market. So it's really going to come down to the experience.
You use that word, the experience.
Yeah. I will give them credit though. They're definitely being very visual as far as representing themselves out there to the community. They're doing live streams, I think twice a week, showing different games, showing the performance. I mean, so they're not really trying to dupe anybody, like doing some cloak and dagger type stuff where this is behind a curtain and they just say, hey, we got your money now, we're not going to tell you. And like Jong is out there every single week on Facebook, playing a new game and talking about the cabinet. He's just, I know people want the final game list and everything that you can purchase on the game and like the hardware specs rolled out, but like from a business standpoint, I completely understand why he doesn't just show all his cards at once.
Well, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, and I'm glad, and I'm fairly confident they're not going to do the Atari VCS model of a launch.
Yeah. And just disappear.
Yep. So I'm so sorry I'm sure people will get your very underpowered, very overpriced Atari VCS by 2021.
Yeah. And I'm sure it won't be outdated at all by that time.
Probably not.
It's you can get right now a 3DS and probably outperform what that thing's going to be when you get it. And if you want the Linux box, you can download that for free. So I feel bad for people who got suckered in, and I feel even worse for the Atari name that's totally being destroyed by these new people who own it.
How do you really feel?
I feel like Kathleen Kennedy has some involvement in here. That's how I feel. I think she's got some involvement in here.
I mean, listen, I commend Jung. He's jumping into a fire in the sense of the arcade.
And I'm in that now, so I get it.
I know you do, and the arcade industry right now is hot, and so he's jumping into.
Let me tell you, it is a little warm.
So he's jumping into this, and it's like you got all these companies out there. So he has a lot to step up to. So I mean, I give him props for it, and I think he's possibly going to be, a contender if he keeps listening to the community. I think that's big. I think that's something we all can agree with here, and that's something Atgames does very well. They listen to the community, and I think that if he continues to do that, he may sell these cabinets at $5.99. You just don't know. I mean,
what sells more product? I'm going to ask you guys right now. What sells more product? Advertising or word of mouth?
Oh,
especially
word of mouth.
Facebook.
Probably word
Absolutely
of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Absolutely word of mouth. So no matter how much advertising you do, when someone sees something for $500 or $600, most people won't take that leap. But if someone did, and they tell someone else how great it is, and they tell two other people how great it is, that's what sells.
Yep.
So by the companies, what you just said, Stephen, is absolutely right. Any company that listens to the customer base, not necessarily in marketing. If people do, marketing firms come in and do all these statistics, that doesn't really tell you everything. That's a very generic thing because you look at people who are gamers, and you get people who are completely not gamers who really don't care. But when you're in a community, you listen to the people in that community, you're going to have a diehard laser beam of what people want. And if you do focus on that, there's a chance.
I could totally agree. I mean, my business alone has been word of mouth. I've had to sit back and stay quiet to a lot of comments, a lot of negative comments that I've seen about my product. And Steven has told me, just sit back, relax, let it ride off. And I just sit back and relax. And my customers have come more to my defense and a lot of negative comments, and it's just more customers.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because the guy sitting next to Scorpion always tells me to just let it ride. Hey, Doug, I'm not going to let you, because honest to God, that's really, I mean, there's times I'm like, oh, I can't believe. Doug's like, take a breath, walk away, just relax. Yep. Just let it roll off. Yeah. And then, so I seen you going down the same road that I always go down. And sometimes it's easier to see it when you're not in it, right?
It's
So-
better to blow your face off. I say lose your mind, and let it go. Don't turn the other cheek. Burn them.
I've literally stayed away from Facebook completely for a week or two just to avoid any type of comments, any type of negativity. Just let it ride. And I've had customers come to me and say, "Hey, did you read this? Did you read that?" And I no, what happened? And they're like, "Yeah, I came to your defense and I said this and I did." And then they attacked my customer, and I'm like, I just can't say nothing. I just got to stay quiet and let it be. I mean,
they're just people are just insecure about it. That's what we've kind of found. Like if you've got to attack people instead of keeping your, and then, again, going back to Doug, keep your eye on the prize. Forget about the people around you. Just do your thing. All is well. I mean, there's no need to bicker back and forth.
Nah,
Well,
doesn't
the
do
big
anybody
thing is
good.
here, if you're an adult or not, that's the biggest thing.
Well,
if you're
true.
a 10 or 15-year-old kid and you squawk and cry the blues is one thing.
Yep.
If you're an adult, you can have a decent conversation and work it out.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we wrap this show up and go into post-show, Arcade1Up. And since we got Scorpion with us, he's on fire. The NBA Jam. David McIntosh came out today. I don't know if anybody saw it in some of the official Arcade1Up post on Glenn's group there. He mentioned that he's talking with ESPN about an official esports NBA Jam tournament, and he wanted to see who would be interested in doing that. I know, Doug, you were probably like both arms up, ready to go. Let's do this now. What did you think of that announcement?
I'm excited. I mean, obviously, it's something that I'm sure is in its infancy stages. That it's something that would take a lot of dedication, planning, and forethought to even execute. But anything that like promotes arcade culture and gets arcade gaming back to people's frontal thought, I'm all for it. Like I said, I love the arcades. I grew up in the arcades. They were my quote unquote babysitter for a lot of my youth because my parents were just gone, and they're like, hey, stay at the arcade. We'll come and get you when we're done with working or drinking or whatever they were doing. So anything that helps arcade culture stay alive and thrive in this world where we're going to like digital only downloads and we're losing physical media and things like that, like I'm all for it. So, and especially when we kind of talked about earlier with like online multiplayer with retro gaming, I mean that is an amazing opportunity that just didn't exist back then. So yeah, sure, there were some bar NBA Jam tournaments, I'm sure, back in the day at local arcades or in bars, but the capacity of them, I'm sure there may be like 30 people at those tournaments.
Yeah.
The thought of something like an Evo, where there's just thousands of people, that gets me so excited. Now, again, total infancy stages. You would have to get so many more cabinets in the hands of these people. You'd have to figure out some really stringent, strict rules about how this works. Does everyone travel to a certain place?
Well,
like,
it's US only too, because Michael B.
How do you
says
keep
it's not
everything
Canada.
on the up and up? And
Yep.
it's like there's tons of little things that they would have to iron out. But just the fact that they're even thinking about that excites me to no end. I just like the thought of retro gaming on a competitive level.
No, I agree with that. The only bad thing with that is me, Scorpion, Glenn, and Angel there. We all could be on one team, and we'd still probably get our butts handed to us.
We'll be the first fatality. See what I did there? Fatality.
Yeah, we.
As long as keeps the ball on fire.
We'll just go on Doug's team and just keep passing him the ball.
There you go. Just feed me the rock. Feed me the rock.
And we'll just sit there and swing our arms and knock people over and grab and then Doug, you just do it.
ABS, always be shoving. That's rule number 1 of NBA Jam. Always be shoving.
I want to put this out there real quick.
Another thing, quick though, when you talk about Arcade1Up, there was an article released as well that David McIntosh had about they have been talking with Nintendo. They are trying to work with them, but as I know Glenn said many times, Nintendo just does not deal with other people working with their properties anymore. People brought up the old, Coleco mini cage with Donkey Kong and ColecoVision. That's when Nintendo was still a new kid on the block and needed help. Nintendo doesn't need anyone's help anymore, and they're very protective of their properties. And also, like, the only console you probably want to get immediately is like Donkey Kong Jr., and those are still in kind of dispute with the licenses. So although everyone would love, including this Scorpion, would love to see a Donkey Kong Arcade1Up or a Donkey Kong Jr. Arcade1Up, Nintendo's just not going to play ball. So I don't give any high hopes to that. But I do tip my hat off them trying.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that would be a game changer if they could make it happen. But like you said, Nintendo's very, very protective. I see Ko Daikin is in here, and I mentioned this to Angel a little bit ago. Angel, one of the things, and I didn't talk to the guys, but I'm sure I'm not going to get any pushback on this. You and your team, Bobby Vu, all those guys, I mean, always willing to help the community. Ko, if you can put together like a 30-second clip, we'll run it during the show every week to advertise for you guys with the To Die For and what you guys have to offer the community.
To Die For? Oh, that sounds right up my alley.
I knew you'd be on board with it, Scorpion.
Yeah.
I think that's something that this way the community has places to go to get their artwork, get their marquees, their different intros and things like that. That I know you guys do. You put something together like that, we'll throw it in the TriCaster and we'll play it as an ad during to help you guys out, because you guys have been there, for us, with different stuff. So I don't know, Angel, if you mentioned that to him, but I just seen he was in here commenting, so wanted to put that out there.
I spoke to him about it yesterday, and I've been giving him some content and stuff like that. So
cool.
He's gonna be working on it. Pretty cool.
So I'm really interested to see how this this esports has this pandemic has obviously brought some stuff on that's not so good, but it's also shifted us to more of an online world where now we are doing not only work, but we're also doing live shows, we're doing product announcements via the web. I mean, anybody can attend something like this, right? A virtual E3. Now having esports tournaments where you could still be safe and play your friends. So there's some good that's coming out of all this, right? That's in my opinion, that's the positive side, right?
We're missing physical sports right now. So I mean, esports is technically all we got.
Yeah, true. It's.
I mean, I've been able to. I haven't had a fatality or anything, but I love to have the tournament. It's delayed. I'm doing nothing.
I'll tell you.
I haven't killed anyone in like 2 months.
Well, then you need to talk to Arcade1Up about getting the Mortal Kombat online, and then you can have fatality after fatality with people online.
I mean, to be able to play other people online, it's fun regardless of the fact. I mean, back in the days, like Halo and stuff like that, that was all fun. Nowadays it gets too technical with some of these games, but to go retro and be able to challenge anybody around the world with just high scores and even the stuff that Atgames is doing with the leaderboards, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. Or things like Double Dragon comes to mind, like something you maybe grew up with, like a sibling or a best friend down the road that you guys would play co-op together, and your buddy or your brother no longer lives in town and lives across the country. The ability to play some co-op Double Dragon would be amazing.
Well, there's just one thing that I think Arcade1Up, if you're listening, if you're watching, and I did mention this in my video, there are some bugs in the software. I think we'd all agree in the games, and we're trying to be, as just like anybody else, let everybody know. I ran into a real interesting thing. I know, Doug, you didn't see it, but in order for the online gameplay to work, there's some things that need to be situated. And I know one of the things that everybody couldn't stand is one of the things that I mentioned, I know you mentioned, and a bunch of other people, is people jumping in and out of games,
without consequences.
Exactly, like ducking losses and things like that. And I know David did mention in one of the posts today that they're working on fixing that, which is great, especially for online loopholes. The other thing is, and I had a bunch of comments. If you didn't see the video, go back and watch it on my YouTube channel. But I mentioned about my son and I were playing, and I was talking with Doug about this, and the carrots, I call them carrots, the player carrots above the heads.
Little triangles, yeah.
Yeah, they would just disappear, and you wouldn't have control over your guys. And I realize it's not Arcade1Up's fault. It goes back to the ROM. But that is something that they would have to take care of, because you don't want to be playing esport tournaments and have that happen where you can't control your guys. So they can go back to, the ROM company, right?
Well, the good thing is that this machine can do firmware updates. So
that's yeah, exactly. So by us finding these things before they launch this, maybe they can put some patches out there with the software company. That was something that I noticed, and I thought I was going crazy until a couple other people were like, no, I experienced that too. So you know, I was talking with Doug. Doug said I didn't have that happen, but he said try it offline and see if you had the same experience. Unfortunately, I did. So we do know that it might be something with the ROM. But again,
this process of elimination, once you start to kind of like eliminate certain factors, then you can kind of hone in on what a potential issue might be. So
yeah, absolutely. So these are the things that you know, with everything, right? You have to, you know, it's brand new cabinet. You're gonna have some things that need to be tweaked, but overall, you know, I've been pretty happy with it, and I'm not a super NBA Jam fan like Doug. What about you, Scorpion? I know you got it. How did you feel?
Well, you know, fighting games are one of my forte. Yeah, you see my arms here. It's a little hard playing these other types of games. But, you know, I'm not very good at it. I'm trying to practice because I do want to play online with some other people, and that's the format, which is basically how I'm going to be in this game at this point. But I haven't seen any issues with the cabinet itself. It's mostly been a picnic problem. You know what a picnic is?
No.
Problem in chair, not in computer. So playing this game, I have been a picnic problem.
You call it a picnic
user
problem.
Error.
I call it
error.
I call it an ID10T error. That's what I call it. But well, I mean, that's all the news we got for you guys this week, and it was great to have.
Before we walk away from the NBA Jam one, I wanted to show off the.
Look at this!
Well, check that out.
Astro did this.
Oh, Kobe numbers up there. 8 and 24.
I actually like that better than the original that's on there.
Yeah, I designed this one, and he has me making him a marquee for it. So for all you Kobe fans out there, you want to change up your marquee, let me know.
So Angel, somebody asked in the chat earlier, do you have an email address for people that are not on social media? That way they can reach out to you and place an order?
disabilityupgrades@gmail.com.
Gotcha.
disabilityupgrades@gmail.com. You can definitely hit me up there. And like I said, if you want to throw my number up there, Steven, or when we go to the post show,
you
know, you're gonna definitely talk to me. You're not gonna get a recording. You're not gonna get
It's not a 1-900 number, is it?
You're not gonna get that new Donald Trump commercial thing.
I thought we identified that P-Dubs was going to be answering the call.
Yeah, I thought you wanted me to give P-Dub's number out. I can put that on there. He's gonna kill me.
I don't even have P-Dub's number.
But well, Angel, again, I know you're like our #1 fan here on the show. It's always, I mean, it's always great to have you on here. I know you call in just about every week. You come on here. We appreciate all your support for us and what we're doing here. And this is the least we could do, man, is have you on here, and we definitely want to have you on again. I mean, it's always a good time.
Appreciate it.
And also, Mr. Doug Smith, do we have any cool videos that we need? I know you got a new handheld.
I got a lot of new handhelds. I'm neck deep in handhelds right now.
You're making me broke because I was going to get the iiRcade, and then I saw the video. Well, I didn't watch it, but I saw that the video's there. That's tonight's watching. What do you got for us this week in handhelds?
So this week I've got the Powkitty X15. It's an Android-based handheld device. Plays things like Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, some Sega Saturn, PSP, PlayStation 1. It's $100. Has Android platform, so you can also play Android games. You can download Netflix, watch it on the go. I mean, it's a pretty neat little device, got to say.
Awesome. And I know there's somebody actually holding on the phone. They tried calling in. So if you're on the phone right now, hold on the phone. We're going to get you in post-show. I know you probably want to talk to Scorpion, but we want to thank Scorpion for joining us. This was an unexpected treat for him to join us today. I hope Glenn's not mad, man.
He's still napping. He wouldn't even know. He's out cold. But you know, I had to do this for my buddy Zohar. You know, he's always shouting me out. So I want to make sure I thank him here and tell him, send me more money. I'm good. I'm surviving now.
Well, let me tell you.
You're wearing a mask.
Yeah, and you're
right.
You got your mask on, so you're doing well.
I am COVID safe. That is correct.
Well, we appreciate you joining us as well. Do you want to plug Glenn's stuff while you're on, just to be nice to him since you did knock him out?
Well, what can I say? The guy's everywhere. I mean, you just turn around, you can see his face slapped up on something. So, you know, don't really need to do anything. The guy's everywhere. He's worse than the pandemic. He's like just everywhere. He needs a break.
And guys, we really appreciate all you tuning in. Stick around for post show. But I do want to let you know, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, we do Legends Center with Atgames. I'm going to give you a little teaser here of, if you've never seen the show, maybe you want to tune into it. We have a lot of fun. It's hosted by myself and P-Dubs. I'll give you a little glimpse into episode 1, and, well, I got to keep P-Dubs in line. We'll see you in the post show.
Firmware update. Your Pixelcade marquee will be able to work natively with the games included on the Atgames Legends Ultimate, Steven. That's right. So if you have a Pixelcade marquee, it will work with the Atgames Legends Ultimate on July 1st. That is the big holiday July 4th update. But it's going to be able to do a few other things, Steven, which you're going to have to wait until next week, and I'll show you that. But for right now, get hyped.
You set me up on that, because that's not what it says here on the notes.
Yeah, it does. It does.
No, it says, Steven, talk about firmware update Bluetooth headset. And I wrote no.
I swear, it's on there. It says, talk about the Pixelcade.
It's so hard to find good writers. We need better writers.
Want to qualify to win a Legends Gamer or Legends Ultimate? Participate in the Summer League event, and you may be able to do just that. Current Legends Ultimate owners can participate in the 10-week Summer League event, starting June 5th, 2020, and ending August 9th, 2020. During that time, there'll be a series of weekend leaderboard events for select games each week. This is a battle to the end. Practice up, make your scores count, and top the charts once and for all, and have a beauty of a prize to show for your hard work. Have fun on the leaderboards, and good luck.